So whenever there is a microsecond and millisecond time delay requirements, timers are the only solution, as we all know. So quickly we'll refresh about the timers and then we'll come to the timers in TIVA microcontroller. To start with, so this is what the timer, right? So whenever we talk about timer, our 8051 timer will come to our mind, where there is an oscillator of 12 megahertz and divided by 12 of then the clock output is around 1 megahertz, and the clock goes into the counter when the counter overflows. So the timer overflow flag will set. This is for producing the time delay, as we all know. And there is another T1 pin, right? There is another T1 pin. So through T1 pin, the number of pulses which are coming, so those pulses are counted. For that purpose, we are using this as a counter, right? So when it is counting the crystal oscillator frequency and it is used for producing time delay in microseconds and milliseconds, we call it as a timer. And the same counters are used for counting the number of pulses are coming from the corresponding pin. So then we are calling it as a counter. So when the oscillator frequency is counted to produce a necessary time delay, we call it as timer. When the pulses from the pin, what is this T1 pin? T1 pin is, this is the T1 pin, right? So P3.5 is T1 pin. So the number of pulses coming from the pin P3.5 is counted. Means then we can call it as counter, right? So these counters are very much useful in the speedometers, as we all know very well, right? So the wheel speed sensor output of our bike or wheel speed sensor output of our car will go as an input, as a counter input like P3.5. So this count value which is there in this is our odometer. What is odometer? Which shows the kilometers traveled, right? So our vehicle has traveled 2000 kilometers. Our vehicle has traveled 50,000 kilometers, something like that. So this reading with some computation will give a odometer reading in the bike. So with respect to this reading, when you compare with the time, it behaves as a speedometer, right? So vehicle is traveling in 50 km per hour or 60 km per hour. That is computed by the pulse count value with respect to time, which is our velocity, which is called the speed. Okay, so pulses coming in to the pin is focused much in all our motor RPM control or speed control or everything, right? So the pulses are coming in through the counter, right? So counting based on the time will help us to find out the RPM of a motor, RPM of an engine in a bike or a car. And not only for this purpose, and counters are most widely used in number of people which are entering and number of people which are leaving the room, and all the object counting purpose, the counters are being used, as we all know. So the pulses coming in through the pin are helpful for us to measure the number of people entering the room, number of people leaving the room, etc., and lot more. First of all, we should know the timer. So this is the timer when it is counting the oscillator frequency. So counting is happening in microseconds and nanoseconds. With respect to 8051, it is happening in microseconds. But with respect to TIVA microcontroller, the counting is happening in nanoseconds. So as we all know, prescaling means dividing the input clock pulses is called as prescaling. Say for example, TL1 has 5 bits. Right? Say for example, TL1 has 5 bits means when 5 ones will come, 5 ones equal to 32. So after the 32 pulses comes, all the 5 bits will become 1 and the TL1 will overflow. When the TL1 overflows, TH1 will increment from 0 to 1. So when TH1 is 1 means that justifies it is 32 count. Am I right or not? So the pulses are coming in to the TL1. Because TL1's 5 bits only used, the most significant 3 bits are not used. So after 32 pulses, TL1 will overflow. This 5 bit will overflow. That is 11111 will become 0000. This overflow will set the TH1 bit. So when TH1 bit is 1 means that justifies it is 32 count. Then again after 32 count, again TL1 will overflow. TH1 will increment to 2. So when the TH1 is 2, then we can say it is 64 pulses has come. So it is divided by 32 counter, something like that you can say. So it is a prescaler of 5 bits. So scaling, right? It is scaling. Input clock frequency is scaled by 5 bits, meaning input clock frequency is divided by 32. So this is prescaling is very much useful for us to divide the count by 5 bits or 2 bits. This is fixed. But in the TIVA microcontroller, you can choose the prescale value. 1 bit or 2 bit or 3 bit or 4 bit or 8 bit prescaler, something like that. That is also we are going to discuss. With this understanding, we are going to look at the timers in TIVA microcontroller. So there is a general purpose timer, right? If you look at the block diagram, so there are 12 general purpose timers. It is given this. There are 12 general purpose timers. So there is a small PPT. Along with the PPT, we'll discuss about this in detail, which will be more interesting, right? So here, if you see, for any application, if the time delay requirements are in milliseconds and microseconds, then we can say timer is the only solution. Today, all electronic products are computing a task in milliseconds and microseconds only. Hence, timer is one of the mandatory module for all the microcontrollers. Let us explore the different possibilities of using timers for our application requirement. So when we take the timers in TIVA microcontroller, the TM4C123GH6PM general purpose timer module. So they used to call it as timer as GPTM. Okay, whenever we used to say timer means it is GPTM. General purpose timer module contains 6 16 or 32-bit general purpose timer module blocks and 6 32 or 64-bit wide general purpose timer module blocks put together to form totally 12 timers, 12 general purpose timers. So here you have to concentrate. There it is 8-bit controller, so you can use it in 8-bit as well as you can use it in 16-bit. Here it is a 32-bit controller, so you can come down for 16-bit, you can use it as a 32-bit counter, it can be used as a 64-bit timer or counter. So beautiful. So there are the flexibilities more, if you observe carefully. There are only timer 0 and timer 1, 2 timers. Here you have a 12 timers, which are a different length, which is used for us to produce different time delays for different application requirements. Okay, so that is the one you need to understand. And you can see the second bullet point. Each 16 or 32-bit general purpose timer module block provides two 16-bit timers counter referred to as timer A and timer B. So there is two timers, right? Timer A and timer B. So that can be configured to operate independently as the timers are even counters. Timer A and B can be concatenated to operate as 132-bit timer or 132-bit RTC. Okay, so that is the one you need to understand. So each 32 or 64-bit wide timer block provides 32-bit timers for timer A, and the timer B contains concatenated to operate 64-bit timer. So timers can be used to trigger micro DMA transfers and it can trigger the ADC. So direct memory access transfer as well as for start of conversion of an ADC, both can be done by using timers. That is the convenience. And this is the timer block, right? This is the timer block. Here, this is the timer block. When you compare with 8051, again you will be you feel a little bit complex. Here you can see this is the timer block. This is the timer block. So very interesting thing. What you can see, this central purpose timer value. This is general purpose timer, timer A. There is two timers, right? As told, as told, there are timer A and timer B. So here you can see this is the top portion is timer A and the bottom portion is timer B. So there are two timers, right? Timer A and timer B. Like this, there are 12. So there are 12 similar blocks, which is 12 timers. Each timer is divided into timer A and timer B. So totally, there are 24 different possibilities are there. Timer A can be used independently as 16-bit timer. Timer B can be used separately as a 16-bit timer. Similarly, there are 12 such timers. So each timer will have timer A and timer B. So totally, there are 24 possible time delays independently. When it is concatenated, both timer A and timer they will be combined together. So 12 possible timings. That's what. Okay. So that is the idea here. So there is a timer A and timer B. And if you observe carefully, so timer A value. So this is the one we know, right? Timer A free running value. So timer value, no? So you can see the direction here. Timer A free running value. This is the free running value, which can be used to see how much count it has counted. Then the rest of the thing, there are control registers, which you will be looking at it in detail, right? Rest of the thing you don't want to worry about it. So there is timer A and timer B. So timer A control and timer B control, and the timer registers are there here, and there is an interrupt configuration registers are available. So there are 6 operating modes. So there it is 4 mode, right? 13-bit timer, 16-bit timer, 8-bit auto reload, split mode. Here there are 6 modes. One mode is called as programmable one-shot timer, and another mode is called as programmable periodic timer, and another mode is called a general purpose timer with an 8-bit prescaler. As I told you, prescaler means scaling means division, right? Scaling means division, 8-bit prescaler. And a 32 or 64-bit real-time clock when using an external. Whenever you talk about RTC, so 32.768 kHz crystal oscillator will come, as you all know very well. And 16 or 30-bit input edge count or time capture mode with an 18 or 16-bit prescaler. Similarly, 16 or 30-bit PWM mode with 8 or 16-bit prescaler and a software programmable outputting version of the PWM signal. and it can count up or down. So this is another interesting feature, right? So already always with respect to 8051, the counter counts from 0 to the maximum only and it overflows. Here, it is possible for us to configure the timer to count upwards as well as the timer to count downwards. That is another beautiful feature available in Tiva. And 12, 16 or 32 or 32 or 64 capture compare PWM pins available. That is what it is given clearly. And another features are just more advanced features like daisy chaining of timer modules to allow single timer to initiate a multiple timing events. And timer synchronization allows selected timers to start counting on the same clock cycle. And ADC event triggering is also possible. And the user enables stalling. So you can stop the timers. You can stall the timer and the microcontroller sets a CPU halt flag during the debugging facility. And it is very important whenever you are going for interrupt, right? Ability to determine the elapsed time between the assertion of the timer interrupt and entry into the interrupt service routine. So when the interrupt is generated and when the interrupt starts executed. So what is the time difference between interrupt generation and interrupt execution? That can be very easily identified with the help of timers in Tiva microcontroller. So which is called as latency. Okay, latency. What do you mean by latency? Delay in executing the interrupt service routine. So interrupt happens at X time. Interrupt service routine starts executing at Y time. Y minus X must be as minimum as possible. So that means the latency is also as minimum as possible. Efficient transfer using micro DMA means, so direct memory access means without the use of processor, we can exchange the data between the external peripheral and memory. So for example, when we are copying any movies from the SD card to the hard disk, so that uses only DMA. When you are copying any large amount of data from the D drive to E drive, that uses DMA in our PC. So wherever there is a large amount of data transfer, so whenever there is a data transfer means always it has to go to the accumulator. From that accumulator only it has to go to the memory. So every data it goes to the accumulator and it goes to the memory means it takes a lot of time. So whenever there is a large amount of data available, there is a separate DMA controller which copies from the peripheral and pastes it into the hard disk, or it copies from the hard disk and pastes it into the pen drive, say for example. So copying the data from the pen drive to the hard disk as well as hard disk to the pen drive is happening through DMA in our PC environment, which never uses the processor, because the DMA controller requires the processor to do the mass data transfer by using the same address lines and data lines. That is the idea here with respect to DMA. So where for the large amount of data transfer between memory or from the memory to another memory or from memory to the external peripheral, so processor should not be disturbed. For that purpose, we have a direct memory access. That is what the brief about DMA controller as we all know. Okay, so to make it more clear about the capture compare module, I've drawn one diagram which is more comfortable for you to understand. So if you see the center, this is the timer counter, which starts from 0, goes up to maximum value, and then it overflows, which is a sawtooth waveform. So whenever there is an up-down counter means goes from 0 to maximum, then maximum to down means it will be a triangular waveform. Okay, if it is a round counter means the slope will come down, and then when it becomes 0, again it will go to the maximum value, then it comes down and go to the maximum value, then it comes down, etc. Okay, so up counter means positive slope ramp, the down counter means negative ramp. So up down counter means it will get a triangular waveform, as you all know very well. This is the timer which we see in our 8051. But in the higher end microcontrollers, we have two more registers. In the bottom rectangle box, we call it as compare register. So what do you mean by compare register? As we discussed several times while discussing about the PWM, we'll fix some value in the compare register. Say for example, when the timer is 8-bit timer, it starts from 0, it goes up to 256. When it reaches 256, it will overflow, and then again it starts from 0. So in the compare register, if we keep the value as 128, so there is an equal to symbol here. So the compare register has 128 value. The timer counter starts from 0 to 255. In between, timer will reach 128. So by the time the compare register value is equal to the timer counter register value, whenever it matches, whenever the timer register value matches with the compare register value, it produces a transition in the pin from 1 to 0, say for example. That means it produces 50% duty cycle. So to produce PWM, the compare register and timer is needed. That is what the arrow comes out here. And there is another interesting thing to check the duty cycle of this PWM. Okay, to check the duty cycle of this PWM, we need to measure the rising edge and we need to measure the falling edge. So time interval between the rising edge and falling edge is the duty cycle. Is it right? So for that, we need to measure the time interval between the rising edge and falling edge for the measuring the duty cycle. Our time interval between two rising edges measured means it is what our period, as we discussed in the previous class. So for that purpose, this compare register output pulse is connected to the tri-state buffer here. It's connected to the tri-state buffer here, where whenever there is a transition in this capture pin, so this is called as compare pin. So compare match pin. Okay. So this is capture pin. Okay. CCP. That's what CCP, capture compare. So we talked about compare now. So whenever the compare matches, it produces a PWM. So now here it is going to capture a snapshot. We call it a snapshot. So whenever there is a transition in the pin, capture pin, say for example, if there is a transition from 1 to 0 in the capture pin, or there is a transition from 0 to 1 in the transition pin, in the corresponding pin, during the transition, the signal will go to the tri-state buffer. At that time of transition, from 1 to 0, or at the time of transition from 0 to 1, what value is there in the timer? What value is there in the timer? Okay. What value is there in the timer? That value will be copied to the capture register. This you need to understand. During transition from 1 to 0, at that particular time, this tri-state buffer will be enabled. At that time, what is the counter timer value? That will be captured in the capture register. Say for example, during the rising edge, the capture register captures the corresponding timer value. Then during the falling edge, the another capture register captures the timer counter value. The second capture register value minus first capture register value will help us to find out the time interval of the on time, which is going to help us to decide the duty cycle. If you know the period, then if you know the on time, then we will be able to find out the duty cycle. So 50% duty cycle, 60% duty cycle, 70% duty cycle, like that. We can able to display the duty cycle of the PWM by using the capture module. So capture module captures the timer value. Capture register captures the timer value during the transition in the pin, which is an input to the tri-state buffer, which is enabled. Okay, so it is capturing the internal timer value. So this timer capture register values, by using this capture register values, we can able to measure the on time in the case of measuring duty cycle, or time interval between the two rising edges. If we are able to capture during the first rising edge, one capture happens. During the second rising edge, another capture happens. Second capture register content minus first capture register content, which is equal to the total period. So inverse of that will give us the frequency. So we can measure the frequency of the pulse, something like that you can understand. So capture registers are used for us to measure the duty cycle and the frequency of the pulses, and the compare registers are used to produce the pulse width modulation. Now you have much more clear from this diagram, which is so interesting, and you can appreciate this. So with respect to TIVA microcontroller, as you see, there are 6 timers, right? As you know, there are 6 timers. You can see timer 0 to timer 5. Okay, so there are 16 are independent 32-bit timer 0, 16 are 32-bit timer 1, 16 are 32-bit timer 2, timer 3, timer 4, timer 5. There are 6 timers. Each timer has timer A and timer B, as we all know. Just now I have told you. Each timer has timer A and timer B. So this is timer A and timer B. So 16 similar timers are there, which is 16 or 32-bit timer, as you see here. Okay, 16 or 32-bit timer 0 to 16 or 32-bit timer 5, where each timer has timer A and timer B. When it is used independently, in timer 0, if timer A is independently used means there is one pin called timer 0 capture compare pin 0, and similarly timer 0 capture compare pin 1 for timer B. So timer 0 has timer A and timer B block. Timer A has capture compare pin 0 and timer B has capture compare pin 1. So each timer 0 has 2 capture compare pins. If one is used as a capture pin, means another can be used as a compare. So compare pins means it can use to produce PWM. Capture pin means it can be used for measuring the PWM. So timer 0 alone can generate the PWM by using the compare register, can measure the corresponding PWM by using the capture register. So for that purpose, it is given something like that. We can use it for this purpose also. So 6 such timers will have 6 plus 6, 12 such capture compare pins. Similarly, there are 32-bit byte timer 0 to timer 5. So for that also we have wide timer 0, capture compare module 0 to come. So totally there are 12 plus 12, 24 capture compare pins are possible, meaning 24 PWMs can be generated simultaneously along with the separate PWM pins. So there is a separate motion control peripheral, there you have a separate PWMs. Along with that, with the help of timer itself, we can generate another 24 PWMs independently, or 12 PWMs can be generated, and the 12 PWMs can, the same 12 PWMs can be measured. That means you can measure the duty cycle or the frequency by using the capture registers, as you see here. So see how much beautiful, it's very complex. It is up to us to choose the corresponding application for this kind of using all these timers and capture compare. That's why I brought this capture compare much comfortably here. So capture and compare pins are put together, right? P0, CCP1. Okay. So one shot mode, periodic mode, RTC mode, edge count mode, edge time mode, and PWM mode. These are all the 6 different modes of operation. And for each mode, say for example, timer can be used independently or concatenatedly. Independently means what? Timer 0, A alone can be used separately, B alone can be used separately, and A and B can be used together to become a 32-bit register or 64-bit register. Independently, it can be a 16-bit register, 32-bit register, as you know very well. The count can be in up direction as well as the count can be in down direction, as we all know very well. And as I told you right now, it has a prescaler register. 16-bit timer has 8-bit prescaler. 32-bit timer has 16-bit prescaler. So what do you mean by one shot? So we can start from 0 and we can stop at particular count value. So we have to fix the count value in the 64-bit register, or we have to fix the count value in the 32-bit register. So count will start at 0 until it reaches the maximum value that we set, and then it will stop. That is one shot. If it is up count means. When it is down count means it will start from the maximum value, and until it becomes 0, it will keep on counting. When it becomes 0, it will stop the time. It can start from 0 up to the maximum value, or it can start from the maximum value and stop at the 0, or it can start at the intermediate value and come up to 0, or it can start from 0 and go up to the intermediate value, that what we set in the corresponding registers, which is one shot mode. Okay, so one time if we need time delay, we can go for one shot mode. And the periodic timer we know very well, right? So for a display refreshing, you need 20 millisecond time delay. For that we can use this. And for speech signal sampling, we need 125 microsecond time delay. For that we can have to use it in 125 microsecond periodic time delay we need. For that we can use the periodic mode. And for 9600 baud rate, every 104 microsecond we have to shift out one bit. So for that every 104 microsecond we have to trigger. For that we can use the periodic mode. So most of the operations within the microcontrollers are mostly periodic time delays, mostly in sometimes in nanoseconds, sometimes in microseconds, sometimes in milliseconds. So for that, the periodic timer mode can be used to produce necessary different time delays as per our requirement. And as we all know, real-time clock is a clock which produces 1 second delay 100% accurately. So wherever there is a time delay requirements are in minutes, hours, and seconds, you have to go for RTC. Whenever the time delay requirements are in milliseconds and microseconds, we go for timers. And edge count mode and edge time mode is very interesting. Edge count is something like a counter, as I told you, counting the number of pulses. And edge time mode is something like capture mode. It captures the rising edge and falling edge kind of things. So edge count is a counter, as we did in our 8051. Edge time is nothing but a capture mode. So during rising edge, you can capture something. And during falling edge, you can capture some timer value. So falling edge timer value minus rising edge timer value will help us to find out the on time of the corresponding pulses, something like that, which will help us to measure the duty cycle and the pulse width modulation and lot more. Okay, and there is a separate PWM module. So along with the separate PWM in the motion control peripheral, the timer can also produce PWM for the linear voltage output. So these are all the 6 modes. Here you can see this is very interesting. For capture compare pin 0. P0 capture compare pin 0 means, as you know, how many GPIO are alternate functions of the GPIO pin, as we all know very well. Single GPIO pin can be used as different features, alternate functions. As you see here, it is very interesting. This is 64 pin IC. So where timer 0, capture compare pin 0. You see that this is the first pin. Timer 0, capture compare pin 0. For this timer 0, capture compare pin 0, which pin is used here in the sense? This PB6 and PF0 pin is used, which is pin number 1 and pin number 28. What type of pin it is? It is input output pin. What type of pin it is? It is input output pin. It is a TTL type of TTL logic pins. It can be used as a 16 or 32 bit timer 0 capture module. It can be used as a compare module, or it can be used as a PWM mode. So timer can be used in capture mode, means it is this pin is used to capture the timer value during the transition in the pin. So if it is used as a capture, means it is used as an input pin. Whenever there is a transition in the pin, the timer value is captured in the capture register. When we are using it in compare register mode, so whenever the timer value matches the compare register value, it produces a transition in the pin. Okay. Similarly, it can be used as a PWM pin. So it can be used as a PWM pin or compare pin, or it is a capture pin with respect to this corresponding timer 0, capture compare pin 0. Similarly, so you have 24 as we have. Similarly, you have 24 such pins where you can able to generate as many capture compare modules. You see, there are 24 PWMs can be generated simultaneously. 24 captures can be done simultaneously, or 24 compares can be done simultaneously, or the alternate possibilities are there. See how so 24 PWMs means you must understand 24 motors can be driven in different RPM by using a single DIVA microcontroller. Just you see, 24 motors can be controlled simultaneously with different speeds, with different direction of rotation. That much powerful is our DIVA microcontroller. It is up to us to make use of these features. Facilities are given. It is mandatory for us to make use of those facilities for our application. So these are all the possibilities. And this is the table as we have seen right now in all the 6 different modes. I'll quickly brief about those modes, which will be very interesting for all of you to look at the data sheet later on. And I'll come to the modes, which will be very easy for us. Timer modes is easy. One shot or periodic timer mode. Here you see one shot or periodic timer mode. I'll show with the diagrams, which will be very interesting, right? And before going to this in detail, I'll show you some of those diagrams, which will be very interesting. Here you see the prescaler. Just now I told you the prescaler. This diagram will help you to understand the prescaler configuration. Say for example, it is 16-bit timer with 8-bit prescaler. 16-bit timer means the maximum value of the 16-bit timer is what? 65,530. Start from 0 means 65,535. So all values assume an 80 megahertz. There you are using 12 megahertz. Here it is using 80 megahertz, right? 1 by 80 megahertz is approximately 12.5 nanosecond. The prescaler value is 0. Assuming if the prescaler value is 0 means there is no divide by, there is no division happens. Clock pulse will directly come to the timer clock. So after how many counts 16-bit timer will overflow? 65,535 counts the timer will overflow. Each count is 12.5 nanosecond. Now you see 65,535 into 12.5 nanosecond, because every count is 12.5 nanosecond because it is 80 megahertz clock. So totally 65,535 counts. So 65,535 into 12.5 nanosecond equal to 8,192 kind of things, microseconds, right? 8,000, this many nanosecond, right? This many nanosecond. When it is divided by 1000, this will become microsecond. When it is divided by 1000, it will become microsecond. So 819 microsecond. Again, when it is divided by 1000, again it will become millisecond. So it is 0.81918 means 0.8192. So which is 0.8192 millisecond. If a 16-bit timer overflows, when there is a no prescaler value, every overflow is equal to 0.8192 millisecond. When the prescaler value is 1, so it is divided by 2 prescaler. When it is divided by 3 means, the clock frequency is divided by 3. So it will take 3 of the time to overflow. So only after 2.4576 millisecond only it will overflow. Similarly, if you go for the divide by 256, so it will take 209.7152 milliseconds to overflow once. So this is the beauty of prescaler that you can understand very well from this diagram. Later on you can look at it in the data sheet in more beautiful. This is with respect to the 16-bit timer with 8-bit prescaler. Similarly, if you go for 32-bit timer with 16-bit prescaler, means you can see the timing. This is 16-bit prescaler which starts from 0 and goes up to FFFF, and which is 60 divided by 60,536. Totally you can see how much time you will get, 3.518 into 10 power 6 seconds. So it goes up to few days. So timer can produce even a nanosecond time delay or microsecond time delay or millisecond time delay, or it can produce a time delay up to few days. So you see 10 power 6 seconds, you see 10 power 6 seconds, 3, let us say 10 power 6 seconds. Just this you have to celebrate. 10 power 6 means what? 10 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. When it is minutes means what? Minute means divided by 60. That many minutes. So this many minutes. Hours means what? 60 means equal to hours. So divided by 60, this many hours. 2777 மணி நேரம். சரி, டிவைடட் பை 24னா இத்தனை நாள், எத்தனை நாள்? 115 நாள் கழிச்சு ஓவர்ஃப்ளோ ஆகும். Just imagine, right? 115 நாள் கழிச்சு ஓவர்ஃப்ளோ ஆகும். So 115 days it will take to overflowங்கிற மாதிரி இருப்பாரு. So that is the beauty of prescalers. அப்போ 12.5 nanosecond time intervalலே நம்ம பண்ண முடியும். 100 நாள் கழிச்சு ஓவர்ஃப்ளோ பண்ற மாதிரி நம்மளால பண்ண முடியும். So entire high precision and very large bandwidth is possible by using this TIVA microcontroller. This is the very interesting thing I want to highlight it. So time delay in terms of nanosecond possible, time delay in terms of 100 days possible. So the rest of the thing is up to you to choose the right application. So controller is ready. So this is another interesting thing. And the real-time clock timer mode means producing 1 second time delay. RTC means don't worry about anything. You can see 1 hertz time delay is being generated. Rest of the thing hours, minutes, seconds. Don't want to worry about this real-time clock kind of thing. Anyway, RTC means it is going to produce 1 second time delay. And input edge count mode. This is counter. As we see the counter in the 8051 microcontroller, here also the same counter with so many features. You can see one example, right? From the diagram you can able to see the counter with some example. Here you can see this is the input signal, means the pulses coming to the pin, counter pin. So these pulses need to be counted is the objective. These pulses need to be counted. Here it is configured like for rising edge also it has to count, for falling edge also it has to count. Now you see in the input pin there is a transition from 0 to 1. So it is configured in the countdown mode. It is configured in the countdown mode. The registry is loaded with the value A. The registry is loaded with the value A. Whenever there is a transition from 0 to 1, the count decrements to 1 from A to 9. So again there is a transition in the pin from 1 to 0. Then there is another decrement from 9 to 8. And again after some period there is no pulse in the pin, and after some time there is a transition from 0 to 1. The count starts from 8 to 7. Again there is the falling edge, so 7 to 6. So this 6 is the value which is set as the minimum. So whenever the count 6 comes, hereafter don't count, something like that. It is programmed. So start at A, do only 1, 2, 3, 4 counts. So look at only 4 transitions. Whenever 4 transition happens, you can stop the counting, something like that you can configure. So start at A, wait until 4 transitions. Whenever 4 transition happens, so leave the transitions. We need only 4 transitions, something like that. So the first transition happens, it decrements from 8 to 9. Then second transition happens here, it decrements from 9 to 8. Third transition happens here, it decrements from 8 to 7. And the fourth transition happens, it decrements from 7 to 6. That's all. After that, there is a transition from 0 to 1 and transition from 1 to 0. So the counting will never happen. It was stopped to timer reload in the next cycle. It reloads to the next cycle, and the timer stops, flags as address, something like that. You can see this. So after that, the counting is not happening. So counting the rising edge, how many rising edges are coming, how many falling edges are coming, how many both edges are coming. For measuring that, we have an input edge count mode. It's very interesting. Edge count mode அப்படின்னா நாம நம்பர் ஆஃப் எட்ஜஸ் கவுண்ட் பண்றதுக்கு கான்ஃபிகர் பண்ணியிருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு மோட் அப்படிங்கிறது புரிஞ்சுக்க முடியும். ஸோ தட் மெனி ஃபெசிலிட்டிஸ் ஆர் தேர் தட் யூ நீட் டு அப்ரிஷியேட், தட் யூ நீட் டு செலிப்ரேட். அதே இன்புட் எட்ஜ் மோடு மாதிரி இன்புட் எட்ஜ் டைம் மோட். இன்புட் எட்ஜ் டைம் மோட் அப்படின்னா ஜென்ரேட்டிங் டைம் டிலே. இந்த இடத்துல இன்புட் எட்ஜ் கவுண்ட் மோட் அப்படின்னா கவுண்டிங் த நம்பர் ஆஃப் பல்சஸ். அப்ப டைம் மோட் என்ன, மெஷரிங் த எட்ஜ் டைம். இது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். எத்தனை எட்ஜ் வந்ததுன்னு கவுண்ட் பண்றோம். இது என்னது, ஓடோமீட்டர். என்ன, பைக் ஆர் கார். ஐயா இந்த வண்டி 100 கிலோமீட்டர் ஓடி இருக்குது, 150 கிலோமீட்டர் ஓடி இருக்குது, 5000 கிலோமீட்டர் ஓடி இருக்குது அப்படிங்கறது கண்டுபிடிக்கிறது வீல் ஸ்பீட் சென்சாரை அப்படியே எடுத்து வச்சுக்கிறது இந்த இன்புட் எட்ஜ் கவுண்ட் மோடு. இது வந்து ஓடோமீட்டர்னு வச்சுக்கலாம். ஓடோமீட்டருங்க வண்டி எவ்வளவு நாள் எத்தனை கிலோமீட்டர் ஓடி இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக இந்த ஓடோமீட்டருங்க. கீழே பாத்தீங்க இன்புட் எட்ஜ் டைம் மோடு. அப்ப டைம் மோடுனா இது வந்து ஸ்பீடோமீட்டர். சரிங்க, ரைசிங் ஏஜ் வந்துருச்சுங்க, ஃபாலிங் ஏஜ் வந்துருச்சுங்க. ரைசிங் ஏஜுக்கு ஃபாலிங் ஏஜுக்கு என்ன டைம்? அப்போ இது கேப்சர். எப்படி கேப்சர் பண்றாங்கிறது பாக்குறதா எட்ஜினுடைய டைமை மெஷர் பண்றது எட்ஜ் டைம் மோடு. நம்பர் ஆஃப் எட்ஜஸ் கவுண்ட் பண்றது எட்ஜ் கவுண்ட் மோடு. ஸோ எப்படி மோடு பாருங்க, எப்படி செலிப்ரேட் திஸ் எட்ஜ் டைம் மோடு. ஓ, எட்ஜுக்கு ரைசிங் ஏஜுக்கு ஃபாலிங் ஏஜுக்கு இடையில எவ்வளவு டைம் ஆச்சுன்னு கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு கேப்சர் மோட. கேப்சர் பண்ணா தான் ரைசிங் ஏஜ் வரும்போது டைமரை கேப்சர் பண்ணணும், ஃபாலிங் ஏஜ் வரும்போது கேப்சர் பண்ணணும். இந்த ஃபாலிங் ஏஜ் வரும்போது வர டைமையோ ரைசிங் ஏஜ் வர டைமையும் கழிச்சோம்னா ஆன் டைம் எவ்வளோன்னு கண்டுபிடிச்சிடலாம். அப்படிங்கிறத நம்ம முன்னாடி பேசியிருக்கோம். அதுதான் நம்ம இங்கேயும் பார்க்க போறோம். இந்த டயக்ராம்லேயே நீங்க பார்த்துக்கீங்க. ஸோ இங்க பாருங்க, இட்ஸ் வெரி இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங். ஸோ தெர் இஸ் அ ரைசிங் ஏஜ் ஹியர். நம்ம பின்ல ஒரு ரைசிங் ஏஜ் வருதுங்க. இப்போ பாத்தீங்கன்னா எங்க டிரான்சிஷன் வருதோ இந்த ஸ்கிரீன் பாருங்க, இது கேப்சர் ரெஜிஸ்டர். நம்ம கிட்ட ஒரு கேப்சர் ரெஜிஸ்டர் வச்சிருக்கோம். பின்னு 0ல இருந்து 1 ஆனாலோ 1ல இருந்து 0 ஆனாலும் டைமர்ல என்ன வேல்யூ இருக்குதோ இந்த ட்ரை ஸ்டேட் பஃபர்னுடைய எனேபிள் ஆயிருதோ. அப்ப இந்த இடத்துல என்ன இருக்குதோ அப்படியே அங்க போய் கேப்சர் ஆயிருமா? அதான் இந்த ஸ்னாப்ஷாட். டைமர் என்ன இருக்குதோ அதை டபக்குன்னு எடுத்து இங்க காப்பி பண்ணிடுறது. எப்போ 1 to 0 ஆகும்போதோ இல்ல 0 to 1 ஆகும்போது. 1 to 0 ஃபாலிங் ஏஜுக்கு மட்டும் கான்ஃபிகர் பண்ணிருந்தா whenever there is a falling edge the try state buffer will be enabled and the timer counter will be captured by the capture register. இப்போ ரைசிங் ஏஜ் மட்டும் எனேபிள் பண்ணினா only during the rising edge try state buffer will be enabled. At the time of rising edge, what will be there in the timer value that will be captured in the capture register. Both edges அப்படின்னா ரைசிங் ஏஜ் வரும்போது கேப்சர் ஆயிரும், ஃபாலிங் ஏஜ் வரும்போது கேப்சர் ஆயிரும். ஒரே ரெஜிஸ்டர் அப்படின்னு என்ன அர்த்தம்? ரைசிங் ஏஜ் வரும்போது கேப்சர் ஆயிடுச்சு, ஃபாலிங் ஏஜ் வரைக்கும் அந்த வேல்யூ இருக்கும். அதுக்குள்ள அந்த வேல்யூ நம்ம எடுத்துக்கலீங்கன்னா ஃபாலிங் ஏஜ் வரும்போது என்ன டைம் இருக்குதோ அந்த டைமர் வேல்யூ ஓவர் ரைட் ஆயிரும். அப்படிங்கிற அளவுக்கு புரிஞ்சிருச்சா? there is a try state buffer something like 8-bit auto reload mode மாதிரி. பட் இது ஓடிட்டு இருக்கிற டைமர் அப்படியே ரன்னிங்ல பிடிக்கிறோம். ரன்னிங்ல கேட்ச் பண்றதுதான் கேப்சர். So you are capturing the timer value during the rising edge and stored in the capture register, which is X value. You are capturing the timer value during the rising edge of the pin, which is stored as a Y value. You are capturing the timer value during the rising edge of the input pin and which is stored as Z. Something like that you need to understand. So beautiful, right? So similarly, if you come to this PWM mode, PWM mode இன்னும் ரொம்ப சுவாரஸ்யமா இருக்குது. இது டவுன் கவுண்ட் மோடுன்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஸோ இந்த டயக்ராம் வச்சு பார்த்தா இன்னும் யூ வில் அப்ரிஷியேட் திஸ். இங்கே பாருங்க, ரொம்ப சிம்பிளுங்க. கவுண்ட் மேக்ஸிமம்ங்கிறப்ப இந்த இடத்துல பிடபிள்யூஎம் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுதுங்க. நம்ம இது ஏற்கனவே பார்த்துட்டோம். மேக்ஸிமம் வந்து மினிமம் வர்றோம். இதுதான் கம்பேர் ரெஜிஸ்டர் வேல்யூ. இப்போ கவுண்ட் ஸ்டார்ட்ஸ் அட் C350. இதான் பீரியட் ரெஜிஸ்டர் வேல்யூல C350ங்கிற கவுண்ட் ஆரம்பிக்குது. இது கம்பேர் ரெஜிஸ்டர் வேல்யூ. எதுங்க கம்பேர் ரெஜிஸ்டர் வேல்யூ? இப்போ இங்கே கீழே வந்துட்டோம். ஸோ டைமர் ஆஸ் யூஸ்வல் FFFFல இருந்து 000 வரைக்கும் கவுண்ட் ஆகுதுங்க. இதை பத்தி நம்ம கவலைப்பட வேண்டியது இல்லை. இப்போ கம்பேர் ரெஜிஸ்டர்ல என்ன வேல்யூ ஸ்டோர் பண்ணிருக்கிறோம்? 411A ஸ்டோர் பண்றோம். அப்ப டைமர் C350 வந்து டிகிரிமெண்ட் ஆயிட்டு வந்துட்டே இருக்குது. whenever the timer counter value is equal to 411A, கரெக்ட்டுங்களா? then it produces a transition in the pin. இப்படிதான் நீங்க பாருங்க, it produces a transition in the pin because it produces a PWM. அப்ப அது வரைக்கும் 1L இருக்குது. எப்போ C350ல இருந்து 4111A வரைக்கும் 1L இருக்குது அந்த பின், PWM பின். whenever there is a match, it produces a transition. Similarly, there is a match here. The timer value மேல இருந்து கீழே வருது. இது 411A இருக்குது. அப்ப இந்த 411A வேல்யூக்கு டைமர் வேல்யூ மேட்ச் ஆச்சுன்னா 1 to 0 டிரான்சிஷன் ஆயிருது. இது 0வாவே இருக்குது எவ்வளவு நேரம்? until the timer becomes 0. When timer becomes 0, it resets. It resets means again the PWM pin also becoming 1 and the timer starts decrementing from C350 to 0. On the way from C350 to 0, it reaches the value 411A. Whenever the value 411A comes, it matches with the compare register value. Whenever it matches the compare register value, it produces a transition in the pin. Then again, it remains in 0 state until the timer count value becomes 0, and then timer resets. So this PWM pin also will get resets. So we are getting some PWM pin. So this is the period. Within this period, you are getting approximately around 66% kind of PWM duty cycle kind of things. That is what being told here, right? You can study this later, you'll be understanding, right? Figure 11.5 on page 716 shows how to generate an output PWM with a 1 millisecond period and a 66% duty cycle, assuming 50 MHz input clock and the corresponding registers, right? Okay, so this is how you have to generate PWM. Capture compare is very powerful, which is used to find out even a very small pulse. Or pulse of few nanosecond இருக்கிற பல்ஸ்னுடைய வித்தை கூட கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு capture module தவிர உலகத்துல எதுவுமே இல்லைங்கிறது இன்னைக்கு மாரல் ஆஃப் தி ஸ்டோரி. There's a pulse with the duration of 1 nanosecond. 1 மைக்ரோசெகண்ட் பல்ஸ் வித் இருக்கிறத எப்படிங்க மெஷர் பண்ண முடியும்? யாராலையும் மெஷர் பண்ண முடியாது. அப்ப கேப்சர் ரெஜிஸ்டர் மூலமா தான் மெஷர் பண்ண முடியுங்கிறது இன்னைக்கு ஒரு ரொம்ப முக்கியமான விஷயங்க. அது ஏதோ ஒரு விதத்தில் உங்களுக்கு தெரிய வச்சுணுங்கிறத அப்ஜெக்டிவ். இந்த பிளாக் டயக்ராம்ல 12 டைமரை எப்படி எல்லாம் சிறப்பாக பயன்படுத்தலாங்கிறத நீங்க பார்த்து வச்சுக்கிட்டீங்க. That's all. So that's all about the timers in TIVA microcontroller.